Hi. So, welcome to another interesting topic and rather important topic about organizational well being. So, here, particularly, I'm not using the word mental health at organization, but organizational well being. So, let's talk to Mr. Inbaraj more about it.
Yeah, hi ma'am. So again, as you rightly said, it's an important topic rather than an interesting topic. And somewhere I feel well-being is a non-negotiable aspect for any organization in that matter. So why do you think well-being is very much important for any organization? And there are different types of well-being that we are going to discuss. And why is it important? And why organizations are focusing more here these days?
Okay. But I would rather say than they've been asked to, they've been forced to, or pressured to is the actual word, because see, when it comes to organization, all of them are focused on the commercial success
Right.
and the effectiveness and all that.
Right.
The people focus has actually never been there. But then now, because of the advent of mental health and well-being and WHO pitching in and about Deepika Padukone, everybody's talking about mental health, and there have been a lot of cases where even suicide happened and depression rates are high at workplace, and
Right.
people are seeing that people are not able to work productively because of that. They would have seen a very effective employee going down in their performance, so they
Right.
could see that visibly there. So all this had made them to feel like the emphasis, and especially with the advent of Gen Z, and Gen Z, because they've undergone this pandemic and many other things, actually all the challenges they've been through. So they are actually prone to a lot of mental health issues.
Right.
Actually, that's a fact, and companies are kind of getting more aware and shifting their perspective to that mental well-being nowadays. I would say that still the shift has not happened, because they have been forced by the from the force from the the like people like WHO or other policies, and that's like a laws and procedures. They are actually doing it.
Right.
Like how the harassment policy has come and people have to follow, it's like that. But I want that organizations to understand the benefits of focusing and investing on your employee well-being programs.
Right.
Because whenever I'm approached, also say that, ma'am, we are supposed to do this, so can you do this? That's the kind of approach people give. It's not that actually they don't even think as if it exists. They
Right.
think that they can take a break for fever or other things. But if I say I'm depressed, I want a break, and that's not very sensibly handled by organizations.
Right.
I'm not talking this for all the organizations though, but most of the organizations are still feeling it is a weakness.
Right.
And people have to be resilient. See how the same stigma happened in our society, where people go to psychologists and say, oh, it's a mental person and I am a very great professional, I will not get into mental health problem. This kind of same stigma goes with the organization as well.
Right.
Especially the masculine trend of how a person get sick. It's not possible. So it's the weakness. You have to gather yourself and gather your strength and fight it. You got to be resilient. You have to be tough. And they see it as a weakness. But first of all, as a psychologist, we know very well that mental health problem can attack anyone for that matter.
Correct.
For people who are very intelligent, even an IAS person or anybody for that matter, socioeconomic state, irrespective of anything, mental health problem can occur to anyone.
Right.
It's not about any stigma attached to be saying that okay, he's weak, that's why he got it. So this kind of stigma are still prevailing in organization, or organizations, especially when I'm working in the maritime sector, where they see it as a weakness actually. So most of the organization, I'm not talking about all the organization though, because they see that a person has to be resilient, and if he's having mental health problem, is not the right fit. But then again, from our mental health policies and rights to mental health and all that, they say that you can't exclude them based on that.
Right.
Because mental health acts clearly protect the person's right. You are
Right.
not supposed to not select anyone based on that. You need to be inclusive of those people, and you should not discriminate them because of their mental health problem. So
Right.
that means we can't avoid 1 in 4 people are having mental health problem is what the statistics says.
Right.
So that means very well that organizations do have people with mental health problems.
Right.
And they think that okay, why should we take this kind of people, let's screen them. No, that's not the point. Even though if they have these problems, we can actually help them in various ways possible. So generally what they do is create one day awareness program just for the sake of it, done and dusted.
Exactly.
Okay, we done this program and we show it in showcase, and then that's it.
Right.
It's not about, it's an ongoing need of the organization, employees, which you have to cater to. But the thing that what is it going to return, what am I going to get out of it? the benefits are really enormous. I would tell you that employee turnover rates will go down, and happy employees are productive employees, I always say. So if people are, the mentally healthy people are very productive. They can actually give their best. They can work up until their potential. If let's say 100 watts, give 100 watts, whatever your capacities, they can work to the best of their capacities and leverage their potentials once their mental health problem as a barrier is resolved.
Right.
So you can't just, maybe as a person is so talented, but just because his mental health problem, if you're going to sack him or if you're not going to promote him, you're going to lose an excellent potential.
Yes. Yeah.
If you're going to intervene there and, first survey, I would say like a model we can come up with. So, for example, in any organization, you can kind of give a very standardized survey to find out if people have mental health problems.
Right.
And, many organizations ask me which model you would go for. Like, will you just give us one day program? I would say that's not going to help you at all. You need to first find out and come up with, from various stakeholders it has to come. Not only from employees' well-being is in their hand. See, employee well-being can improve from organization perspective also. They can come up with policies like work-life balance to improve the work-life balance. For example, for women, they can have, even menstruation leaves are there now. So a lot of policy level changes can improve their mental health. And, giving them for child welfare policies, this kind of, whenever a woman has a child, if their leaves are extended, all this thing can improve the mental health.
Absolutely.
By giving up the right giving in the right resources for them is one way organization can pitch in. And one another important way is leadership development.
Right.
So you know very well about it. So leadership development in a way where people can be supportive.
Right.
And, be listening and, not be very rude. In such a case, definitely leaders also can play a profound role by giving them the psychological safety to speak up. And also whenever they come across people with anxiety or depression, so here we need to talk about like what kind of mental health problems may, occur in any employee for that matter.
Right.
It could be anxiety, it could be depression,
True.
It could be sometimes PTSD after some traumatic event, and OCD issues.
True.
And personality disorders which will affect their performance. Like some people you would have seen, everything will be in order, they'll be very perfect, but then they can deliver much better if, they are coming out of that issues.
Right.
And stress is the inevitable topic, and a lot of organizations do give stress management program. That awareness is very well there, but not amounting to various other things.
Right.
So they always think that, okay, we will train the employees, we will give them the tools, we'll ask them to change their lifestyles, we'll improve and give them some programs like, diet to improve their diet and lifestyle. But it's only one-sided.
Right.
We are only trying to improve them. What happened to the organization? What are you going to, do to the employees?
True.
Like I told, policy level changes can happen, and leadership development programs where they can be a very supportive leader, which can be a cushioning agent or a moderator effect for an employee to, enjoy the well-being. And your company is going to be the most wanted workplace.
Right.
And people would vote that, okay, this company gives me the psychological safe place, and more talents you can attract.
Right.
So you were asking me about what kind of, impact this is going to have on the company. Yes. You're going to reduce your turnover rate. If you've invested a lot on people, they are going to stay in your organization.
Right.
And your health insurance policies and all that can go down with mental health and physical health are two sides of a coin.
Right.
When person's mental health improves, their physical health improves.
Right.
And obviously the insurance policies and all that also you can save on that as well.
Right.
On the health, you can have a healthy employees over there.
Right.
And another area where they can improve is their productivity can improve. So like this, it's innumerable benefits are there, and it can improve the effectiveness of the organization. Once people are having the mental health benefits, they would love to work in that space where the policies are towards the assisting the employees to enjoy the well-being.
Right.
So this small steps what organization could take will go a long way in preventative mental health care.
Absolutely.
So that if you give them the good leadership development, people will be